Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're talking about the demand for silver skyrocketing over the last, 10, 15 years. But what happened? Because silver production, silver demand, people that were buying silver was a lot lower, 10 times lower than the past 10 years. Something happened. And the last three videos, I've kind of made this like a segment, a four-part segment. I first shared how much silver was in the world. Then I shared why we need so much silver. Then I made a video talking about who owns the most silver. And now I'm going into what happened to boom all this off, because before silver production was extremely low. JP Morgan owned a fourth amount of silver as they did. 2008, something happened, and a big boom in the silver industry exploded the markets. People, everyday private buyers who own the largest portion of silver bullion in the world, started buying silver 4 times more than the year before. 2008, something happened, and this was the financial crisis. But before we jump into this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you already haven't. I post daily videos, so stay tuned. So anyways, let's talk about this financial crisis. So we see the year 2000 to 2011, when silver hit $50. There was a lot of things brewing up, the perfect storm, to say the least, that was definitely, cooking up under silver's price. And I'm not talking about gold either. This is specifically silver. And we see the markets slowly but surely just gaining traction, whether it's the media, whether it was Y2K, the recession, the financial crisis, the 9/11, whether it was all of those things, whether it was people fearing the government, all of these things that were happening in the world, which was a perfect storm for silver to just seem like the perfect solution to get away from this problem. People didn't trust the banks, people didn't trust the government, they didn't trust the dollar, they didn't trust our economy, they didn't trust our future. So silver was the perfect solution, because what is silver? What can it do? It can preserve your wealth against inflation. It can be a way to escape your financial crisis in the dollar depleting or rapidly, losing its purchasing power. And people jump to silver. Now, this is a really interesting, because if we look historically on silver's price leading up to when it was $50 in 2011, and we go forwards, we see the same types of things starting to happen. The dollar's losing its purchasing power. People are starting to fear the government. Hyperinflation is worse than it ever has been. $23 trillion in debt. Whether the dollar's strength is going up or down, it really is irrelevant to the bigger picture of things, especially in our financial system and our government and our economy. The 2020 presidential election is probably going to be another huge thing that's going to stir things up in the melting pot. But also, there's other factors that we also need to talk about in this video. So private buyers and sellers are the biggest. They own the largest portion of silver in the world. And that's interesting to say the least, because there's, I think, the SLV ETF stock owns 380 million ounces of silver, but private buyers and sellers own more than that. JP Morgan was third with, I think, 85 million ounces, and that's still a lot of silver, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not even a fraction. So where is all this silver going? It's going to people like me and you, the people that understand the intrinsic value of silver. This is really important when we're looking at silver's future, its beneficial factors, and what it can be used for. For people like me and you to own more silver than these big business corporations is extremely, extremely informational stuff that we can also, look forwards to in the future for the better. But also, I want to talk about something I found in this article that I shared in my last video. I want to dive a little deeper into this, because the article was talking about, yes, there's a lot of silver in the world, but if you look at how much is being recycled, it's probably not even 1% of all the silver used, produced, sold, held, mined in our world is ever recycled to be in our, scraps and stuff. And that is a huge, huge statement that the article made. And the article was from JP Morgan. If you guys want to check it out, my last video, go check it out. But this is a huge statement because a lot of gold is recycled. You know, you remelt your jewelry, your wedding bands, your earrings, but silver isn't recycled. So if we're looking at silver in the future, in the long term, this could be a huge indicator of where silver's price could go. If we look at supply versus demand, low supply, high demand, that shoots the price up. Silver is being lost. It's lost in technology, it's lost in cell phones and laptops in these scrap yards, and people are not scrapping it out like they do with gold. Scrapping gold out of laptops is profitable. Scrapping silver out of laptops and cell phones is not profitable. So they're not doing it. So gold comes out the ground 9 to 1 compared to silver. Every 9 ounces of silver, around 1 ounce of gold comes out of the ground. But a lot of that gold gets remelted, so it's used, it's recirculated in this economy, in the society, but not for silver. The industrial uses for silver that we have in the world are needed more and more, but it's going to be getting lost, so there's not going to be as much silver. You know, every single year there's going to be less and less silver if we're looking at it from this perspective. Not from an overall perspective of how much we dig out of the ground. Even we can go and look at miners aren't making as many profits, so that's also indicators as well. So it's just stuff I want you guys to think about. But you know, for the sake of this video, we are trying to stick more towards, you know, the silver boom, and I think people are starting to realize this. You know, if you let's go back to the year 2008. Like, let's say when I made the video, what happened when silver was $50 in 2011, I shared an article, and it was talking about the time, the economy, the place the society was in during that period when silver was $50. What was going on? What was the economy like? What were people talking about? Were people fearing the government? Were they pro-government? What was going on? And I shared an article, and it gave some really key indicator insights on where they thought silver was going to go. And they were actually pro silver, thinking that silver was going to go up to the 60, 70, $80 range. So they did not think that silver was capping out. They actually had a lot more potential in the precious metals world. Now, regarding what happened for it to drop back down and not to be recovered is really, you know, that's another video. But that just shows that people really were believing in this precious metal. And I think it's starting to get to that point again with how much people are finding silver a solution or a monetary value. Everyone has always seen silver being valuable, always has seen it as some form of tradable currency, but I think more than ever, as a global monetary value, silver is one of the more universally, globally traded and accepted forms of money. And I don't think that any other currency can do that. It can also fill that spot right now. Fiat currency definitely can't. Stock markets is more of a traded online funds. If you're looking at, you know, cryptocurrency, that could be another contender because it is a decentralized currency traded globally. But there's also many things wrong with cryptocurrency, and a lot of people don't like it for those reasons. So silver is the only real safe investment that people can really trade, talk about, and stack and own, you know, for their future, investing into their future on a cycle that's talked on such a large scale that we're mentioning in this video. And I think that's a really important thing to remember when we're looking at silver stacking. I definitely think that we're on to something big, and I think more people every single day are realizing it as well. So that's really good news for silver, and I think it's the same type of stuff I see around 2008 once this market exploded, and also why it can and probably will again. But anyways, you know, I'm curious what you guys think about this. If you guys do agree, you know, let me know down below. If you think there's some more stuff you want to add on yourself, I would love to hear your comments, questions, and concerns. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you already haven't. I'm curious what you guys thought about this video. If you haven't checked out the previous 3 videos I posted, also definitely check those out, because this video kind of wraps up or summarizes those videos as well. They kind of branch off of each other, so it'll kind of allow you to, you know, get the whole gist of why I'm talking about this, because it all stemmed from when I made that video talking about how much silver is produced in the world, and then I wanted to go a little step further on why we need so much of this silver, and then I made a video talking about who buys all this silver, and now we're talking about what started it all, and it kind of wraps it all up. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you already have, and I post daily videos. I'm going to keep posting videos. If you love the world of precious metals, make sure to tune in every single day. I'm loving the support you guys have given me, and the more you guys support the channel, I'm going to keep giving you guys content to enjoy. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'm out. Peace.